What a crazy week for crypto. And I have Ashish Singhal of CoinSwitch who joined me for this episode. It was recorded just before the crash, so I couldn't ask him exactly how the crash impacted his business and what it means for crypto for investors, because I believe that retail investors with the crypto crash would have lost a little bit of money and could be very disheartened by the volatility that they haven't seen before in their other investments. So regular investors would have seen massive impact in their portfolio. If you have invested in any of the popular cryptocurrencies, for sure 50% of your value would have been wiped out, depending on when you've invested. Hope you enjoy this episode. On to the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another amazing episode of Stars and Startups with me, Varun Bhavidi. Today we're going to talk about something that's kind of been on everybody's mind the last few weeks. Every second internet influencer is talking about crypto, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and I mean, if you're a little bit more ambitious or excitable, Dogecoin. I think that's how it's pronounced. But if you've been watching the IPL, you've probably also been bombarded with some ads. And this is probably the third or fourth, phase of cryptocurrency. So it's also a very interesting time to have today's guest, Ashish of CoinSwitch. Welcome, Ashish. Welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Varun, for inviting me. Obviously, crypto is going through an amazing cycle, and a lot of interest from people after Tesla investing in Bitcoin, Coinbase IPO, and now one of the craziest time in crypto being one of the highest has ever been. Right, so happy to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm a noob investor when it comes to crypto coins, and I decided to download as many crypto applications on my mobile phone. So every couple of days now, I get a notification, all time high. I think they call it ATH. And every second cryptocurrency is showing ATH, and I wake up to these messages, right? So I was like, it's time to have a conversation with a founder. And I've seen crypto since the early days, 2011, when it's first I discovered what Bitcoin was. And 2013, I actually created an account on Coinbase. Let's not go into that story at the moment. It's a very sad story. But I think the most important part is every couple of years, there is obviously a cycle happens in the crypto market, and it's obviously fueled by different things. The last cycle was fueled by India going through a lockdown, the demonetization before that. So there are obviously these moments where there's a macro trend or an impact that results in folks looking towards cryptocurrency. How did you discover cryptos, and what got Ashish Singhal onto cryptos?
I think reading the white paper in 2013 was the moment that being a techie myself, so a little background probably would help understanding my story a little better. So I come from NSIT Delhi, computer science grad, worked in companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Zynga, leading product and tech there. So in 2013, while I was at Amazon, I was obviously interested in technology, and I was a hacker. Right, I used to participate in a lot of hackathons, build a lot of products there, and that's where one sometime in mid 2013 is where I read the Bitcoin white paper, and kind of it blew up my mind into how the problem was solved so elegantly, where no trusted third party would be ever required for any peer-to-peer transaction without trust, right? So which kind of gave me a lot of thought into what other applications we can build with a similar architecture, right? How loan applications could be built up, how the transactions that we do today, the wallets like Paytm, Ola could be redefined in a way through those mechanisms, right? So that kind of my techie nature or my problem solving nature is kind of what got me into cryptocurrencies, and that's what got me excited. I've been following crypto since ever and trying to create a company there, but not I never wanted to create a crypto company, to be honest, but it was more about the problems that we were solving in crypto. We were already associated with crypto, the kind of problems we solved for ourselves, and realized, why not give it to a mass audience as well, because that's working out so well, right? So, and
So
that's where how CoinSwitch.
we'll come to CoinSwitch in a moment. I'll ask you
Sure.
the story about CoinSwitch. But actually, what I'm most curious about, since 2013, I too have been watching and following the market, so to speak. Um, Blockchain was something that kept coming up, right? So I said, if you go back to some of the videos and articles written in that era, oh, crypto is not the killer thing. It's blockchain. It's the technology behind it that is a killer application, and that's what most people wanted to kind of focus on. But it is not how things played out, right? There is still no killer blockchain application beyond crypto, at least in my mind, right? I'm sure there are some smaller kind of concepts that are doing kind of okay, and folks are still pursuing that. But what is it about crypto that has caught someone's imagination now that wasn't the case? And why were these pundits wrong last many years?
So I wouldn't say that is the case, because like blockchain and crypto goes hand in hand, right? So to use the blockchain technology, crypto is what you need to use. Uh, Agree to your point that there hasn't been a killer application which uses blockchain in a way which replaces, say, one of the use cases, maybe say UPI, or maybe say the loan applications today. But these are infrastructures which are getting built up on blockchain, and these crypto coins represent those infrastructures. So think of it like a startup starting to solve a use case. The startup hasn't become like an Amazon today, but they are on path to become Amazon. And uh, crypto is like a way of either investing or using their product today, right? And that is why it's the promise of success or promise of delivery of that product which keeps the value of these bitcoins so high, right? So, but the underlying technology is still blockchain, right? Which on which the problems are getting solved, right? So these are still linked. It's just the perception, which which is more about that. Oh, this coin has a very high value. It's going up drastically, but why it is going up has its root based on the problem that is that particular team is solving, and obviously that problem is getting solved on blockchain itself.
So let's get a little deeper into that, right? It's a very interesting topic to maybe delve on. So what you're saying is that today blockchain, and in this case cryptocurrency, so if you take Ethereum for example, is a store of value when we look at it. But what you're saying is actually the tokens that's worth something, which is actually funding a project of Ethereum, which could do multiple things. Is that what you're referring to? And maybe you can talk to our audience about what
A little
the
different than that. So it's not just about funding as well, it's about usage as well. So say if I want to use any smart contract, any game, and I want to buy any NFT which is built on Ethereum, I need to hold Ethereum. So it's also store of value. It's also getting used as well. For a lot of people who are looking at this as an investment class, for them it's value which the Ethereum network would end up creating over time, right? So it's like buying, say, an Amazon share very early, or say even buying any share in a small cap company today, right? Which has a promise of delivering over time. Some people might be using that as a value, as a usage, or maybe to transact onto the platform. But some people might be holding it because they believe that the use case is so big that it will grow up and its value would reflect back in that, right? So it's both value as well as investment which are getting imparted through these networks.
so you're saying there are two types of holders of Ethereum in this case. One is the folks who want to buy into the technology but see it as an investment class, and the others who are actually creating products on Ethereum who then need to use Ethereum to do those transactions as well on the network of Ethereum.
Yeah. And in the terms of when they're creating something on the Ethereum network through Ethereum itself, now they would have users as well who would want to buy their services through Ethereum. So it's basically, both sides of the equation getting filled up in that. And obviously the major part still lies in investment, where people believe in the technology and they feel that it will grow up over time and create much more value, which will reflect in the value of the Ethereum token over time.
Got it. Well, hopefully the listeners who are listening to the show kind of got the difference in that, and I'm sure they can reach out to you to understand more. And of course, there are hundreds of YouTube videos today created by so-called crypto influencers who will probably teach you what these mean. You actually brought up a very interesting use case that is top of mind now, which is NFTs, or the non-fungible tokens. Um, uh, I was following, I think there was a lot of coverage of Govind, who is the gentleman investor who purchased, probably the most expensive NFT at the moment, the Beeple, kind of collage. Um, do you know Govind? Do you know Vignesh?
Yeah, I've seen the
Uh,
story. Yes.
do you know him at all? Have you interacted with him?
I don't know. No.
Okay. So how do you see that space, the NFT space, where people are buying crypto kitties, they're buying, digitally created, poop, for a lack of a better word. Um, how do you see that space, and how does it link with cryptocurrency itself?
Sure. So the promise of NFT, or non-fungible tokens, right, is that say if you have $100 in your pocket, and I have 100 rupee note as well, these are interchangeable, right? If I give you my note and you give me yours, there's nothing to say that which one is Ashish's and which was in Bharat's, right? So but there are other kind of tokens which you would have seen, like collecting Pokemon cards, which you used to do when you were a kid, or a lot of people collecting cricket cards, baseball cards, and creating tokens which are, or entities which are unique, right?
Yep.
So a non-fungible token, or NFT, is a representation of a digital uniqueness, right? uh, if you look at my view, and these are just my personal views, I don't believe them. Right now the technology is where a retail investor should invest in NFTs, because there is a very basic fundamental flaw in the way it is stored today. So say if you're buying a painting, right, painting is obviously hosted on the painter's website. What you are end up buying as an NFT is saying that that particular URL belongs to you, and you can prove the authenticity of your ownership anytime that you want. So it's a digital certificate that you get, right? But what if tomorrow that painter's website vanishes, or the painter
Yeah, sure.
decides to shut down his website, right? And your NFT or your value is lost, although you still hold that certificate, but that doesn't point to any value in itself, right? So for me today, that is not a good investment for a retail user. But obviously the technology is evolving itself, right? So creating a better representation of that painting on the digital asset, so it remains forever, is something that people are working on. And I'm hopeful that it'll get solved and it'll create more value to the retail investors as well. But it's a very fun, and it's a very futuristic technology which is getting built up, right? And over time you can see even the properties. So if you're buying, say, a land, which could be represented by an NFT itself, right? And the value records, your driving license, your even if you're buying a fridge today, which has a serial number which denotes its uniqueness, everything can be digitally verified rather than physical certificates or physical copies of bills that you need to carry. So it's a very promising technology, but it's not there yet. It needs to evolve through certain cycles to be able to deliver the value that it promises.
Got it. I'm sure we'll go down the rabbit hole when it comes to NFT specifically. But I think it's basically the world is seeing what NFTs can do, and I think there are multiple projects that are being created. The most interesting, I think, are you a cricket fan? Of course, you probably
Yeah.
are. I think the ICC, which is the International Cricket Council, put out a request for bids to create a digital collection of important moments in cricket history, which which is saying something, that bodies, international bodies like that. The NBA has something going on. The A lot of different sports are also looking at NFTs as something that can add some additional revenue. So very interesting time we live in. So coming to you were going to say something?
No, I absolutely agree with you, right? It's just that the technology itself is evolving over time, and we believe that over time it would add so much value if if it can solve few of the problems that it has today, right? Ultimately, particularly, I believe in the next 5 to 10 years, since we are moving toward digital India, every record would be digital. This NFT could really help digitize the physical and link the offline to the online world, right?
Hmm.
So yeah.
um, it's also scary, to kind of put everything that you own, on the web, right? And I think that's probably what people have to get past, saying, okay, how will this, look when it's out there for everyone to see and verify, right? So we will. I think people will get there, but it's probably much safer than probably leaving it in a government office somewhere. Um, hey, Ashish. So we've obviously seen you guys got excited. Rather, you got excited about crypto while you were hacking, etc. How did you convince your co-founders, Govind and Vimal, to come on this journey, and what transpired to becoming CoinSwitch?
Sure. So, like Govind and Vimal and I are friends for like over 14 years now. From day one of our college, we've been friends. I never needed to convince them; they were already convinced. Because when I read the white paper, I got excited. I called them up. They read it as well, and they could see the possibilities as well, right? And through our hacking days, it was not just me; it was the team, the me, Govind, Vimal, winning all these hackathons across India, right? Winning like any major hackathon that you can think of in India. We would have won it, including Google Code for India, Sequoia Hack, and the idea of CoinSwitch actually, transpired later on when we were trading cryptocurrencies, all three of us, and realized that since the price of a crypto varies from one exchange to another because of different demand and supply, why can't we build an aggregator to help user or to help ourselves discover the best price whenever we are converting one crypto to another, right? And we built it as a hack for ourselves so that whenever we are trading, we are already getting the best rates. Made it public back in 2017, and have never looked back. Within a month of our launch, we were doing $1 million GMV a day. Subsequently, got funded by Sequoia and had been growing amazingly since then. And that's what transpired ultimately to our CoinSwitch Kuber journey in India, which I'll discuss in details, and have given us so much success so far.
No, that's phenomenal. So how did you guys go from the white paper in 2013 to starting up CoinSwitch? How long did that take? What did it take for you to get there?
I think what got us excited was obviously the tech part, and then how do we get into it, right? So the first way to get into it is to mine it, right? We never thought about buying, but we thought about mining, right? Because that was the fad at that point, and we started to run our own Bitcoin node at that point, and started mining and started learning about Bitcoin, blockchain, and all that. Later in 2015, we started trading as well through the Bitcoin that we have mined, and try to learn as much as possible about other cryptocurrencies as well. At that point, Ethereum came into the market, Litecoin, and others. Do a lot of trading at that point, and then later realize, oh, I was trading on this exchange, but the price was better on this exchange, and that's what transpired, to building an aggregator, getting a best price across exchanges, and that's what ultimately became CoinSwitch. And coming to CoinSwitch Kuber, the idea was always about simplicity, right? So how do we make sure that you don't have to deal with the complexities of the crypto world? And I usually use that. When we started in 2017, our aim was very simple. The day we make our parents buy cryptocurrencies, we would have made crypto simple enough, right? We would have achieved our goal. And that's what happened with CoinSwitch Kuber. Once we launched it, within a week, my parents, without even telling me, bought their first Bitcoin, right? And at that point, we realized that we have made it simple, right? It has been a 4-year long journey to get to that position, but I think we are really proud in making that happen in India, right? So today you can buy any crypto with a single click on CoinSwitch Kuber in India, and as simple as buying food online. So we were inspired by Swiggy on how they innovated the way of food delivery, and just adding to cart and checkout, food is at your home. That was the experience that we thought of building to cryptocurrency buying and selling, and we ended up building CoinSwitch Kuber exactly for that reason.
So this was 4 years back, which is when you formed CoinSwitch, which
Yeah,
was 2017.
7.
Um, Now, I was in the payment space at that time, and one of the biggest challenges in 16, 17 was a regulatory, kind of gray area, right? I think even today, it's still a regulatory gray area where you're not going to get a lot of support even from banks, right? There was a constant musical chairs where the bank account is held, where you move it. And I know a lot of the challenges that happened behind the scenes. There was a company called Zeppay, called Unicoin, CoinX. There are a lot of players, who came. Some still continue their businesses doing, enabling users to buy and sell. But a lot of startups, who enable users to buy coins also kind of exited the market. What is the situation now? I mean, has a lot of this changed? Has it become easier for somebody to do it? Is there regulatory approval?
So there isn't any regulatory framework even yet. But what happened in 2018, which you talked about, the RBI putting out a circular, cutting the banking industry, dealing with to deal with crypto industry, which kind of led to a lot of companies scaling down, even some companies shutting down at that, right? But what happened in 2020 is where the industry was fighting a case where to legitimize cryptocurrency as a business in India, and that's where Supreme Court came out and called that decision of RBI unconstitutional, and tried to educate or tried to form a government body which can basically help regulate cryptocurrencies in India, right? That body is still out, a lot of ministers working in forming those regulations today, but it's still unregulated market. We still face some of the issues that you talk about regarding banking, moving of funds, and that is a major challenge for the crypto industry. But now a lot of support has also come in through some banks, right? Where after the RBI circular, they have, they after the Supreme Court verdict, they have taken a stance to support cryptocurrencies. Obviously, for some banks, that support goes in and out. Like you would have seen ICICI backing off last week, but some banks are still in the support of cryptocurrencies and trying to give us that support until the regulations comes out. Obviously, that also means that working closely with those banks, trying to make sure that whatever procedures, the KYC, AML that we are focusing on are the basis, and are very very strong in this industry, and which gives regulators the kind of comfort to be able to support companies like us.
No, I think that's the most important part, right? If the banks and regulators want to support, or but when there is so much of you know if there's not there's no clarity, if there's no clarity in the regulation, even banks are very jittery in
Yeah.
who to support and when to support, and this will constantly change whenever their compliance says something to the team whoever's supporting them. So what does this mean for investors who are investing though? Right now they're able to put money away, right, and say buy coins, right? But is this always going to loom large, where a regulation could change, and the money I put away in a cryptocurrency, I could never see the light of day?
I think likelihood of that happening is very very less, because obviously government understands the market as well, right? They would not want, today over 10 million people invest in cryptocurrencies, over billions of dollars of worth is invested within India, right? And they would not want that amount to go down to zero, right? And that's where they work with us. They work with a lot of knowledge partners to create right regulations for the crypto industry. How crypto industry has been regulated in US, Japan, Singapore, and they have gone through their own cycle of regulators finding it difficult, and then learning and figuring out how we can work together as an ecosystem where users, innovators, and government can work together and form the right regulations for the benefit of all, right? And that's what the cycle that we are also going through, and we are very, very positive that obviously over time these regulations would come in India, which would help kill all these fears which are going around. In the meantime, we work with regulators trying to get some clarity or some intermediary kind of relief, which can help us do better, which help them learn crypto industry, help us learn their concerns and try to address their concerns. So it's always going to be a working relationship, which will ultimately lead to a regulated environment forming in it.
CoinSwitch today has some phenomenal names from the venture community who have invested and taken a bet on CoinSwitch. Likes of Sequoia, Ribbit Capital, Paradigm, and more recently, probably a couple of weeks news now, as we record this episode on 8th of May, is that you have Tiger Global, who have also kind of come in and invested. Does this mean that they are also confident to take these bets because there's less regulatory challenges?
They are comfortable putting this money is the reason that they have been investors in Coinbase since 2011 2012 as well, right?
Okay.
So they've seen these regulatory environments. So 3 out of 4 investors in CoinSwitch are the same investors in Coinbase as well. Fred, who is the founder of Coinbase, is the owner of Paradigm and who has invested in us. So in a way, Coinbase founders are part of the company today as well, right? So they have seen this life cycles going on with regulators, and overall, crypto providing a healthy framework for the benefit of everyone in the ecosystem, right? And they obviously believe that that would happen in the same way in India as well. Through the work of the companies and through the work of the government, we would be able to form those regulations in India, which ultimately benefit. And India is moving towards the digital economy, right? And we particularly believe that crypto or blockchain is going to be a huge part of it. And India would not want to miss out on that revolution, right? While the other countries embrace that part. So we are very confident that over time we would be able to address all the issues that government has and able to form positive regulations for crypto in India.
Ashish, so that's phenomenal news. I mean, just having the Rolodex of investors is obviously going to help you also work with some of these bodies, right? They just bring that kind of support to even what you're doing. Before this call, we were chatting, and you mentioned, CoinSwitch today has 5 million customers who are using, and they're coming from all across the country. It's just not a phenomenon of the metros or folks who've been to good colleges, or now it's your parents who are investing or trying out the application, right? And just dipping their toes into the crypto market, right? What has led to someone in these small towns or even metros for that matter wanting to get involved? I mean, because there's not that much, it's not like everybody's having a chat about crypto over chai, right? What's resulting in this phenomenon of people, right up to tier 3? Is it like them buying a lottery ticket? What is it?
Like, to be honest, every investment, so even if you buy a stock today, right, people can call it buying a lottery as well, right? Because as a retail investor, what you're taking that decision on is very limited of the knowledge, right? But what makes crypto more exciting for people in even tier 2? So 60% of our users come from tier 2, tier 3 cities, right? How I like to put it is that the entire India is investing in crypto today, not just the elite, right? And that's where the difference comes in between stock market and crypto market. Crypto market is much easier, and you can start with as low as rupees 100, right? And when you come to crypto market, your decision of buying your first coin is already made, because Bitcoin represents crypto market in itself, right? So your decision making is much, much easier into it. Why a lot of people today are getting into crypto, especially in India, is one of the reason is that India has been, you know, moved into a place for the last 3 years where people couldn't get into this economy, right? Into the crypto economy. And while the other countries were growing steadily, their education, their exposure to crypto was going steadily over time. But the crypto has opened for India only just now, right? And that is one reason that they are coming into crypto. Second reason is that obviously because of the COVID situation, a lot of stock markets, mutual fund market has taken a hit, and this crypto ecosystems give them an alternate way of investment, right? How usually I like to put it is that every investor should have an exposure to crypto based on their risk and reward appetite, obviously, but at least having 4 to 5% of their portfolio exposed to crypto, helping them in creating a more diversified investment ecosystem and give them the returns that they are looking for, probably for their retirement or probably for the long term, right? So treating it as an asset class, giving you the opportunity of high risk, high reward, while diversifying into other asset classes as well, is the way I believe India is looking at. So this is same as financial education is growing in India. Even companies like Grow, Upstocks, and Zerodha are seeing a surge of investors coming into the platform. Crypto is no different. Crypto is providing a new asset class for investors to come in, make an easy decision on investing in crypto, maybe a smaller amount based on risk versus reward, but definitely exposing themselves to this asset class as well, right? And that is what the culmination of these things is what is causing the surge that you're seeing today.
When you look at the education, now there's a lot of financial education that's happening, and I think Zerodha, Grow, and crypto applications are seeing uh, the benefits of that education. There are a lot of these applications to buy stocks, right, equities, and you create a demat account and you're able to buy, and now Zerodha is focused as a zero brokerage player. In the crypto market, what is it that is the differentiator? Is it just discovering the best price, or like why would somebody choose a CoinSwitch over? I think every day a new crypto app is showing up in the market, right? And especially now, the way that the crypto world works, you're actually storing, like CoinSwitch is storing my crypto in your the wallet that you can turn off anytime. I'm not saying that CoinSwitch would do it, but I'm saying any operator today has access to all this money from all these players with no regulator, right? So how do a lot of these things play a role in choosing an application?
So first of all, compared to the stock industry versus the crypto industry is more technical in nature, right? Stock is more about the licenses. Once you have the licenses, there are a set of APIs, there are a set of practices that you deal with to create a stock brokerage. Obviously, it's technically challenging, but there is a framework laid out for it. When it comes to crypto is more challenging, right? And that is the why we are very different from any exchange which were in India, and that is the reason for our growth, right? It's not that before us exchanges didn't exist in India. A lot of exchanges did exist in India,
Yeah.
but in just 11 months, we have been able to capture 70 to 80% of the market share in India. Grow our user base from 10,000 in June to 5.2 million today, right? And the reason for that is simplicity. The tech innovations that we were able to do, like I talked about, as easy as ordering food online. So it's the simplicity, it's the experience that we were able to provide, which is the resultant of our growth. Coming to your second question, which is about custody, right? Obviously, we are a custodian platform where the bitcoins or all the crypto coins lies within the custody of CoinSwitch. Because obviously, we want to hide the complexity of security from the users. Users are free to move their funds to their hardware wallets, and if they want to take the security in their own hands. But think about a user who is investing $100 or $1,000 would not want to learn all these complexities by themselves, right? And that's where CoinSwitch security comes into picture. So choosing any platform, obviously, the amount of volume that they have, the amount of the price that they provide, the experience that they have, and last but the most important part is the security that they, right? Are they able to secure your funds in a way where, as a user, you can be, hidden away from all the complexities and still make sure you are able to trust that brand? And why people should trust us? Obviously, we are an amazing team. I am biased at this point, but we are an amazing team, backed by some of the best investors in the world, have been in crypto for the last 4 years, have done transactions of over 10 to 20 billion dollars through our platform, right? And have secured the assets for users across multiple cold storage and hot wallets, making sure creating an infrastructure which provide absolute security to our users, right? And every day that we exist, we work continually hard to make sure that our security goes up and up from there, right? And that is the reason, because of the simplicity, security, they should definitely choose CoinSwitch.
I'm sure your pitch has got you a few more clients through this podcast. The challenge that a lot of crypto founders have in India is kind of talent to work on crypto, right? And I think those who can do mining and understand the intricacies of crypto probably made their money doing these things while playing and hacking on the platform. Is that the challenge where you're unable to get good talent to join the team, or that's not true? There are folks who are passionate about this, they want to participate, and how's CoinSwitch going about it?
Sure, sure. So as CoinSwitch, we look at it as a little different, right? We always believe that people who are going to change the industry will not come from that particular industry itself, right? So if somebody want to change the stock industry, he might not be a stockbroker himself, right? Because he would have already changed it while working there. So what we believe that the experiences that we want to build, how we want to simplify this industry, the experts would come from outside the crypto world. We were outsiders ourselves, right? Although we knew about the tech part of it, but we were outsiders when it comes to the product part, right? And we were able to simplify it because we were not solving it for anyone else. We were solving it for ourselves. So that's why for CoinSwitch, the most important thing that we look at is problem solving. If a person is good in solving a problem, doesn't matter he has knowledge of crypto or not, he would definitely be able to relate to the problem that we are solving today and able to solve it well for the users and for himself alike, right? And that's what the kind of people that we hire. And to be honest, there is a huge supply available for such smart engineers and product engineers, right? Who are willing to take on this challenge of simplification of crypto and creating experiences which will impact the lives of hundreds of millions of users in India over time, and take this as a challenge and try to work with us, right? So to be honest, we have talent as one of the hindrance in this space. Actually, we love that people don't know about crypto who come on board, because then they can form their own opinions, they can give their own direction, they can give their own feedback, and try to work on a product which will ultimately define these experiences themselves, right? So that is something which excites a lot of people, and they try to come and interview and join us.
Awesome, man. Talking about interviewing and joining you, how do people get in touch with you if they want to get involved in the crypto space?
So definitely write us at careers@coinswitch.co. We have a lot of openings across functions, especially hiring in tech, product, and design. And any other, be it sales, be it business, we are open to all. We are looking for smart people who are problem solvers, right? If you think you are a problem solver, do apply to us, and we'll come back to you, tell you our story, and get you excited on solving problems in crypto.
Awesome, Ashish. And I'm sure it's probably your first name at coinswitch.co if somebody wants to reach out to you directly.
Yes.
So to the smart listeners of this podcast, I'm sure you're probably going to get a response back if you write to Ashish. Where does CoinSwitch go from here? Also, that Coinbase is establishing its base in India as well. What's next? What's next for you guys?
So we started this year with a goal of adding 10 million users to CoinSwitch. We already stand at almost 5.5 million users today. So we have revised the goal to about 15 to 20 million users by end of the year. And Coinbase coming to India, maybe through a development center today, and hopefully later as a product as well, actually gives us the confidence, right? So far, it's a battle that needs to be won, and it's good for the users. If multiple good companies are competing, they would end up solving the problem of the user, and whichever company solves it better, a user should use their product, right? So we aren't afraid of any competition. We actually love that Coinbase is thinking about coming to India maybe a year or two down the line, and that would create a healthy competition within the industry, and hopefully we come out at the top.
Well, you guys are going to compete for good engineers. So wish you, Govind and Vimal, best luck on creating another unicorn from India. Do you have global plans? Do you have global plans with that?
I think yeah. So I think opportunity in India is very very large, and we don't want to diverge our focus at this point and focus solely on the Indian opportunity right now. Hopefully over time, once we believe that we have solved that problem in India, we would want to diversify into other jurisdictions.
Hey Ashish, this is phenomenal. Thanks for taking the time to share the CoinSwitch journey.
Thanks a lot, Varun, and thanks for inviting me.